Hi, this is Toto from Blues Guitar Beginner, and today I'm going to be talking with you about blues scales and looking at it from the point of view of home notes and chord notes. So typically what happens, when you're learning any scale is you get thrown the whole scale, right? So in this case it's A. So we're talking about A blues. Why A blues? Because research shows it's the most popular blues scale online. So we go with that, right? So A, C, E, G, sorry, A, C, D, D flat, E flat, E, G, A, G, E, E flat, D, C, A. And so on the tab it looks like this. Okay, so here we have A on D7, C on G5 with finger 1, D on G7 with finger 3, E flat on G8 with finger 4, E on B5 with finger 1, G on B8 with finger 4, and 5 on A on E5 with finger 1. So what you'll need to do is be able to say to yourself, A blues scale, right? A finger 3 G7, C finger 1 G5. Sorry, that was D7 for the A. C finger 1 G5, D finger 3 G7, E flat finger 4 G8, E finger 1 B5, G finger 8 finger 4 B8, and E finger 1 A finger 1 E5. So you need to be able to get it up here, say it out here, and stick it up there in the air, as well as on your string. So it's not enough just to go and go. And you go, what was that you just played? I go, I don't know, it was this. Okay. You need to know those scales like phone numbers, and you need to be able to talk them. Okay. So now that we got this thing, typically what happens is you learn them in exactly that fashion. Go up the ladder, down the ladder, up the ladder, down the ladder, up the ladder, down the ladder. And when you're going up and down there enough times, you sit and go, well, now how do I make this sing? Right, how do I make the scale wail? So let's come back to a strategy that I can suggest for you. And we mentioned at the beginning, we'll be focusing on home notes and chord notes, right? Instead of doing focusing on the whole blues scale is like focusing on the whole alphabet when you're talking, when you're having a conversation, instead of just a few letters and a few words, right? What I'm going to suggest to you is what we really need to do first is really nail the home notes of the scale. All your melodies, no matter what scale you're in, what key you're in, they'll all come back to some home notes. Some notes are more home than others, okay? But the notes that are most home are the ones in the home arpeggio. Now, just before I come to that, what we're going to do is relate this to chords, right? So the blues progression in A, D, A, D, D, A, E, D, A, E. A, D, A, D, D, A, E, D, A, E. So it'll help if you learn the progression kind of like that. A, D, A, D, D, A, E, D, A, E, A, D, A, D, D, A, E, D, A, E. Okay, so you don't need to sit there when you're playing and try and figure out what chord comes next. Now, also going to show you a relatively simple thing here. Instead of playing the whole A, you're just going to play G and C sharp. Right, so G is D5, C sharp is G6. And we're just going to play an A like that, just for those two notes. Then we're going to play a D7, move that shape down one fret, and we're going to play with a C on G5 and an F sharp on D4. Right, and there's our D. We'll come back to A, C sharp, and G. When we play an E chord, we're going to play D on G7 and G sharp on D on G7 and G sharp on D6. So there's E7 and back to A7. So we've got A7, D7, A7, A7, D7, D7, A7, A7, E7, D7, A7, E7. Okay? Then we're going to pull those together with the home notes. Now, what are the home notes? Well, the home notes in the blues scale are these ones here. Right? A, finger 3 on D7, C with finger 1 on G5, E with finger 1 on B5, and A with finger 1 on E5. And it looks like I've done a typo. Oh, look at that, A. That should be an A. Okay. So those are the home notes, right? So it doesn't matter what else you're going to end up coming back to one of these home notes. Now, home notes is a really useful way to think about it. From a playing point of view, I just think of it as being the home arpeggio. Okay. And the notes are exactly the same. The only thing that's changed is that word says arpeggio instead of notes. Okay. So first thing we're going to do is go through and play the home arpeggio with the chords. And that's all we're going to do, right? And the whole purpose of this is to get you to really understand and feel and get comfortable with the home arpeggio against any of the chords. So let's go. And again. Okay, so all of that was just the home arpeggio, the whole thing, right? So, and the only additions I may use was bending up from a D to an E, okay, and from a G to an A. But whether I bent up or just played the note straight or bend is beside the point. They were all in the home arpeggio. So you can get a lot of mileage by just nailing that home arpeggio. Okay. So we've gone across the whole chords there. Now what I want to show you is we just take the notes out of the scale and we can just deal with just the chordal tones now. Okay. So we played the home arpeggio, it didn't really matter. We just used the home arpeggio to go through the chords. Now we want to take the notes out of the chords, right, and play with the chords. So for A7, all we're going to be playing is A, E, and A. A, E, and A, okay? And we're just going for the three most basic ones. We're not using sevenths yet. A, E, and A. Against the D7, so as usual, just the straight contradiction straight off, we're going to use A, C, and A, right? So A is on D7, C is on G5, and A is on E5. And again for the E7, we're going to use the D right here on G7 and the E here on B1 with fingers 3 and 1. So it's going to sound a bit like this. Against the A, sorry, start again. Against the A, we're just going to use the A, E, and A. Against the D, we're going to use the C and D and A. And against the A, we're going to use just A, E, and A. Then we come to the D.